I remember back in the day, masculinity found you. Today, you have to go looking for masculinity, right? You cannot find it so easily. You have to go digging, searching for it, because it's no longer in your face. Whereas when I was growing up, masculinity was constantly being in your face. Being an alpha male was constantly being shoved down your throat if you were a guy, especially if you grew up in the 70s, 80s, especially the 80s. I want to say that was like the epitome of masculinity, just because I want to say that was the decade of masculinity, just because Arnold and Stallone were making their best movies back then, and every single movie they did back then was super alpha, high testosterone pumping, and just very, very manly. Even the cars back then, right? Even the cars back then, they were just masculine, right? I mean, if you look at the cars back then, Corvettes, Camaros, Mustangs, that is what the majority of guys were driving. They were driving like muscle cars, right? When I was in high school, a lot of my friends and I, what we would do is we would look in the Auto Trader, back when they had the paper Auto Trader, and we would buy like 60s muscle cars, and we would work on them ourselves because they were pretty easy to work on, and we taught ourselves a lot of mechanic skills, right? Whereas when I got older, I didn't need to bring my car to the garage to do like just basic things, like basic engine work, whether I was changing a water pump, a fuel hose, doing a tune-up, changing a power steering pump or anything like that. I didn't have to bring it to the shop because I knew how to do it, because I had taught myself when I was younger, because we used to buy a lot of these muscle cars when I was in high school. And these days, you don't see kids doing that, right? You don't see manly cars these days. I mean, sure, they got the Challenger out there. They've got, the new Mustang out there. But for the most part, you see the, just speaking of the automotive industry, you see the automotive industry being flooded with girly man cars, electric cars, hybrid cars, right? Smart cars. You ever see those smart cars? It's like a one-seater smart car. That is the most girly man car on the planet. I've seen mostly guys driving those cars. Not women, but guys. Really sad. Priuses. I've seen way too many guys driving Priuses. And I know what you're going to say. Great on gas, very reliable. You know what? Men don't care about reliability. Men don't care about gas, right? Alpha males don't care about that stuff. We just don't. We just don't. You guys have seen my 65 Corvette. That thing just swallows gas. Like, it's constantly thirsty. I am in the market for a Lamborghini, and a lot of people are like, oh, look out. Not the most reliable car, plus it sucks up gas like crazy. It's like, duh. What manly car doesn't suck up gas like crazy? What manly car is reliable? Right? It's not. That's why you buy a tool set. That's why you learn to work on it. You learn how to fix it yourself. When I first started shopping for a DeLorean, a lot of people were like, be careful, man. No more DeLorean mechanics around. Where are you going to fix that car? Where are you going to take that car? Even my dad was like, where are you going to bring that car if you buy it? There's no DeLorean mechanics around here. And he was saying too, like, the engine it's like French and something else. But it is. It's a PRV. So it's got the original engine in it. But I said, I've got a tool set. I can learn. I can teach myself how to work on it. I could fix all the basic things, and then the rest, if anything else happens, I'll figure it out. Because that's what men do. We figure it out. Okay? We figure it out. And fortunately, I grew up in that era where it's like, okay, you figure it out. Right? And masculinity was constantly in your face. Taking responsibility was constantly in your face. If you had something to say to anybody, you did it to their face. Right? If you had anything to say, you would do it to their face. If you want to bully somebody, gotta do it to their face. If you want to fight back, you gotta do it to their face. Nowadays, look at it, right? People hide behind their computer. Hide behind my computer. And even worse, these beta males hide behind their fake account and faceless profile to throw shade. Back in the day, if you want to throw shade at somebody, you had to get in their face. And you had to risk getting your ass kicked. That's what kept everybody in check. That's what kept everybody's egos in line back then, because it was like, if you can't fight, if you can't defend yourself, you better just shut up. You better shut your mouth. And if you want to be able to say what you want to say, or if you want to be able to protect yourself, you better learn to fight. You better go take some classes, some boxing classes, some kung fu classes, or karate classes. I remember when I was growing up in like, probably around like first, second grade, I was getting picked on. And by the time I was in, I want to say middle school, I just told my parents, I want to learn how to fight. I want to learn how to defend myself. And they were like, oh, just call the teacher. And then my mom would say, oh, we'll just call the teacher, right? My mom. And then my dad said, no, he wants to learn how to fight. Let him learn how to fight, right? He wants to learn how to protect himself. My mom's like, what do you want to do? I said, I want to take karate. And so I took martial arts for several years after that. I ended up enjoying it. I ended up competing in several tournaments and won several trophies. And I got my first degree black belt when I was, I want to say 16. I was 16 years old. I got my first degree black belt. I was very proud of that. From that point on, anybody messed with me, I fought, right? And I have not lost a fight since the 7th grade, okay? And not lost a fight since 7th grade, but I did not back down ever again once I learned to fight. This is something that you don't see happening today. I mean, it's funny too, speaking of martial arts and karate, if you look at a lot of the karate classes today, I laugh. They put all the kids in the kids classes, and then they separate the kids from the adults. When I was taking karate classes, they did not separate us. I remember being like 12 and sparring with a 35-year-old man with a mustache, and it was a biker that was taking karate. I was like, I'm 12 years old. This guy's 35. Why am I fighting him? You know, but it was a good lesson because it taught me to just fight anybody. I was like, hey, if I could compete with this guy who's 35, he's my dad's age, maybe I could beat up other dudes, you know? So you were forced to be a man back then. You were forced to grow up fast. You were forced to just figure it out. Whereas these days, society is doing most of the figuring out for you, right? It's like everything is just being handed to you on a silver platter. Even the cars today, a lot of you guys are like, why'd you get the new Range Rover? Why are you driving that one still? Get the new one. Get the 2021. It's like, I don't like all the technology in my car. I want to be able to drive the car. Even my Range Rover, it's like pretty much drives itself. Right? This is why I like older cars. I like classic cars. With cars like these, you have to drive them. You're forced to drive them. You have no choice. You got to steer. You got to press on the clutch. You got to hit the gas. You got to maneuver it, right? Whereas cars today, they pretty much do most of the driving for you. Got navigation, got a backup camera. In my Range Rover, I disconnected the backup camera. I didn't want to use it. I just disconnected it because I want to be able to just always use my own senses, and I want to use my own sense of direction. Like sometimes if I need to find an address, I'll log on to Google Maps and I'll look at the address, and then I'll just kind of zoom out and look at the freeways leading to that address, and then just take a mental image in my head, take a mental picture, and then I'll look at the exit, and then I'll just log that into my brain, and then I'll turn it off, and then I'll just drive there, right? I'll just drive there. My girl, a lot of times she'll put up like, you know, she'll get the address and she'll put it on my little holster thing in my car. And then, you know, you'll have the voice speaking, okay, turn a left in 200 yards. I'm always like, turn it off. Turn it off. I don't want to hear it. I already know the address. Turn it off. I looked at the map. She's like, you sure? I'm like, turn it off. And we always get there. She's always amazed by that too. She's like, wow, Matt has like such good sense of direction. And I'm like, no, you use your brain. You use your brain. Okay? You use your brain. But everything these days is being done for you. You know, it's like you don't really have much opportunity to exercise your masculinity anymore. You have to go looking for it. You have to challenge yourself. Okay? You have to look for opportunities to do it. And this is why I'm just against this like beta male generation, right? I call them the participation trophy generation, trying to redefine masculinity when you can't. They're trying to redefine masculinity into basically a watered down, diluted, pussy version of what it's actually supposed to be, right? What it's supposed to be. This is a big reason why I don't throw shade at people in comments or anything like that, because it's like, hey, if you're not in front of my face, I'm not going to say it. If I have something to say to you, I'm going to meet you face to face and I'm going to say it to your face. and you're going to have the opportunity to say something back to me. And if we have to get into it, if it gets physical, then it gets physical. And we settle this like men. We settle it like men, and then afterwards, once it's settled, we shake hands. That's what men do. Okay? That's what men do. We don't run off like little bitches and hide and, throw shade at this guy, he'll never know. No, you stand by what you say. You stand by your words like a man. Exercise your masculinity as much as possible. Right? You do it as much as possible. As I was saying, the whole topic of this coaching video was back in the day, masculinity did find you. It found you. You couldn't hide from it, right? You couldn't hide from it. It found you. Because so many of my peers back then, we were all just being inundated with masculinity from movies, cars. Masculinity was everywhere. Bodybuilders. That if you tried to hide from it, we would find you and we would kind of shame you for not being a man, for not lifting weights. Like, dude, you go to the gym today? No. Oh, you pussy. Go to the gym, you lazy ass. Stop dogging it. Right? Stop dogging it. Get to the gym. You took on that challenge of just being a man, being a responsible man. And, if your finances were out of whack, like, one of your boys would be like, hey, dude, you got to get that together. You got to pay your bills, man. Don't spend more than you can afford. Stop spending like a chick. Even your buddies would act as this, like, support group for any time you baited out. So it's really sad these days that these days you have to go finding masculinity. It's not going to find you. Look at the movies. Look at the TV shows. Look at the cars we were just talking about. Everything is and has been feminized. Everything is girly. Even football. You can't even watch football anymore. They started wearing pink on the field. And, I'm all for the breast cancer research and all that. I mean, obviously testicular cancer, I think, has higher rates. You don't see them promoting that, do you? I just remember going, man, I can't even watch sports anymore. I can't even enjoy sports. They're feminizing that too. All this woke shit. Why do you think I'm against, like, the left? They're the ones promoting the woke stuff, cancel culture. I mean, there were so many words that you would hear in movies that, like me growing up, I used to say, and it was no big thing. And now YouTube will flag you for saying certain words that are just, they're just words, right? If you're a guy growing up in today's environment, you have to go looking for masculinity. Okay, you have to. I have a lot of young subscribers, and they're like, hey, what should be my first car? My parents are saying I should get something reliable like a Honda Civic. And I'm like, dude, one thing that hasn't changed are women in cars. You get a Honda Civic, you're not going to get many babes. You're better off getting an older Mustang. You're better off getting a Camaro. Get yourself an IROC if you really want to go retro. Get a Z28 or something from the 90s. You could probably find one on Craigslist for a couple of $1,000. It's probably as much as the Civic you're about to buy anyway. Like, oh, they said that's not very reliable. I'm like, good. That's good. That's great. You know what you do? You go to Walmart, you buy a tool set, you keep it in your car. Anytime it breaks down, you fix it. Right? And now you got YouTube. You could watch videos on how to fix your car. That's what men do, right? You figure it out. Get yourself a manly car. Oh, don't buy an automatic either. Buy a stick. That's another thing. You see stick shift, manual, boom, manual transmissions with a clutch disappearing. They started taking them off. Now you can't even get them in a Corvette. A Corvette! That was like the epitome of a man's car. You can't get a stick shift Corvette. You can't get a stick shift Lamborghini anymore. Pathetic. Pathetic. Oh, paddle shifter. Paddle shifters are faster. No, dude. Give me the stick. I want to control the car. I want to hit that clutch. And I want to go, I want to do that stuff. You see society in very subtle ways removing masculinity from existence, taking it away from us. Right? This is why, in order to find it, you're going to have to go a little retro. Unfortunately, yeah, you have to go a little retro. If you love retro, then it's cool, right? That's the only place you're going to find it. You ain't going to find masculinity in movies anymore. You're not going to find it in Star Wars. You're not going to find it in today's, vehicles, right? Unless you buy like a Challenger or something like that, right? Those are still pretty masculine cars. The new Mustang. Make sure you get a stick. If you don't know how to drive manual transmission, you got to learn. Because that's what men do, right? Get yourself a motorcycle too while you're at it. That's also something that guys do. They ride motorcycles. Enough of these electric cars, enough of these hybrid cars, enough of the skinny jeans. Start dressing like a dude, man. Start acting like a dude, right? If you got something to say to somebody, confront them. Tell them to their face. right? And don't be a snot about it, because that's how you check your ego, right? If you're acting like a snot in front of this dude who's bigger than you and he decides to punch you in the face, that's on you, right? It's like, why are you acting like a snot, right? You shouldn't do that online or offline, especially online where you can hide behind your computer. That's pathetic. That's pussy. Only pussies do that, right? But it saddens me that masculinity is not being promoted anymore. And that's why we have channels like this, right? We have channels like this where we can embrace it. We know it, it's good for society. Obviously, that's how our civilization has thrived for millions of years. And I'm warning you now, society is slowly trying to remove masculinity from any facet of your life, where if you're a boy, you're not going to be able to find it. In many toy stores, they have removed the boys and girls section and they've combined them. So you might go to the toy section looking for a car, and then you'll be like, hey, how come next to the trucks is dolls? Why is this here? And then there's makeup on this side next to the Hot Wheels. They're trying to confuse you. But yeah, back in the day, man, masculinity always found you. Whether it was movies, music even. A lot of songs back then were just way more alpha, even though some of the lyrics were kind of beta-tized. The guitars, the drums, the glam rock, the metal of the voices was very, very alpha. And I don't see that today. There's like a lot of beta musicians out there, or, even if it's like rap. I used to love old school rap, right? I grew up with like Run DMC, Public Enemy, MC Hammer. A lot of the rap these days is just filled with it's mostly just profanity and anger. Yeah, profanity and anger and chest thumping. Yeah, and anger is mostly a beta trait. Right? Can it be used for good at times? Of course, but mostly the way it's being used in music is pretty beta. But even in music, you have to go looking for masculinity, and let me know if you find it in today's music, because I have not really heard it. Right? If you want to listen to some alpha music, you got to go back to like Bob Seger. You got to listen to guys like that. Bands that are hardcore, so it's very, very difficult to find masculinity these days, and masculine role models even. Look at most of the actors these days compared to the actors we had before, like Clint Eastwood, right? James Dean, Humphrey Bogart, Arnold, Sylvester Stallone. You had a lot of alpha actors back then, whereas look at the actors today. You got Jonas Hill, right? You got a lot of these beta actors out there that are, pushing feminism and pushing, are really caving to the mob to destroy masculinity. And these are one of the rare and few channels that will promote it and tell you to embrace it, because that's what you're supposed to do as a man, right? You're supposed to do this as a man. When it comes to women, I've said this as well. You guys asked me about online dating. I'm an old school cold approach pickup artist. If I see a girl I like, I walk up to her and I just start talking to her. And I establish a connection with her, and I work game on her. Right? I do this face to face because that's what men do. I don't use dating apps. Dating apps are another form of taking away your masculinity. And who has all the power on dating apps? Women do. If you ever see these women's like inboxes, like even a girl who's like a 3 in looks, look at her inbox. She's getting flooded with messages, right? It's worse than a club. Dating apps are worse than nightclubs. At least at nightclubs, the girl's seeing you face to face. You have a lot of competitors, but at least the girl gets to see you face to face, and you get to demonstrate who you are. Can't do that online. The girl never sees who you are if she's getting hit up by just hundreds of guys, right? Imagine a girl who's a 9 or a 10 on an online dating app. She just doesn't have time to respond to all those messages. This is why I tell you, it's part of being a man. You got to work up the balls to talk to girls. If you're not good, if you don't have any skill yet, hey, neither did I at one point. You know how I got good? by continuing to approach, looking at my mistakes and fixing those mistakes and getting better. And this was before YouTube. This was before we had books on this. I just learned through trial and error. And through that, I became one of the best in the world. I am one of the last remaining cold approach pickup artists on the planet. And I have a wealth of knowledge to teach you. This is why I encourage you guys to learn from me. Jump in my programs. Even in my dating programs, it's all about approaching the girl from a masculine frame and maintaining that masculine frame throughout your relationship with her, no matter how short or how long that relationship goes. Okay, even if you just date that girl casually, or if you date her long term, or if you marry that girl, I teach you how to maintain your frame, because that's what women are attracted to. If you've noticed this yourself, if you're part of my generation, or if you're just an observant person and you've noticed that society has been slowly removing masculinity, whereas now the younger kids have to go looking for it, the younger generation of boys who are being feminized like there's no tomorrow, who are being pussified, who are being given participation trophies. Right? We would have laughed at that back in the day. If I was growing up, I mean, literally, if somebody gave me a participation trophy growing up, I would have taken that trophy and I would have walked to the nearest garbage can and thrown it away. I wouldn't want it. I'm like, I didn't earn it. I don't want it. I want to win. I only want that trophy if I can win it from them. If I can win it from this dude. I don't want something just for showing up. That's pathetic. Back when I was in kindergarten, we didn't even have graduation. First time I graduated from anything was 8th grade. We didn't celebrate these little wins. Okay, I graduated from 8th grade, high school, and then college. You have your graduation. We did not have these kindergarten graduations. Super pathetic. It's like, why are you graduating from what do you do in kindergarten? You color in the lines, you take naps. Are you seriously? You have to graduate from that? That's another thing. It's like it's removing your ability as a boy to learn how to win, to learn how to compete, to learn how to grind, to struggle, to overcome your struggles. It's little things like that that take away from your ability to become a man more and more and more. Right? You even see on these playgrounds that they don't want boys playing cowboys and Indians or roughhousing. These are things that you're supposed to do as a boy, right? You're supposed to roughhouse. You're supposed to wrestle each other, play very physical games with each other. That's how you develop, not only physically, but mentally. And sadly, kids are being robbed of that these days. Kids are being robbed of that. It wasn't more than 20 years ago, whereas masculinity was still widely available. Right? You would see it everywhere. You would literally see it everywhere. Dudes walking around with cut-off shirts, muscles hanging out. Dudes just driving badass cars. People flaunting their success, like dudes bragging about their success. Yep, that's it. I hit it. I'm doing well. Now it's like, oh, shame on you, stupid rich guy. Oh, how come not everybody gets the car? How come not everybody can date beautiful women, and all this other stuff? Because you got to go out and earn it. You got to go out and earn your keep, right? You got to go out and earn your keep, and you got to get receipts. You got to get your own receipts in your own life, right? You got to go out there and grind. Really, that's the only outlet for masculinity these days, is like to go find your grind and to go get on it. And not worry so much about what society is doing. But sad, man. Sad, because masculinity always found you back in the day. And these days, for these kids and these young boys, they have to go finding it. That's why these kids are such pussies. They're so weak. They're so beta. I've even seen some of these younger kids, I want to say they're probably like maybe late teens, maybe even early 20s, that have done like videos about, oh, look at this guy. He's trying to do something with his life. He's trying to lift weights. Oh, that's so cringy. Oh, it's so cringy he has muscles. Oh, look at that guy. Oh, it's so cringy he's driving a Lambo. Nothing more cringy than driving a Lambo, and it's like, dude, are you serious? Are you serious? I've literally seen these videos from I guess they would be Generation Z. Is that what the new generation is? They're on the very young tail of the millennial generation, or on the older tail of the Generation Z. that I've seen just do videos like this where it's like, oh, look at that guy working on his career. So cringy, so cringy. Look at that guy trying to move out of his parents' house and get his own place and become a man too early. So cringy, so cringy. And it's like, dude, are you that much of a beta male? Are you seriously? Is that your mindset? Have you been feminized that much? Are you that much of a little girly man that you think that this guy who's working on himself, trying to become a man is cringy? It's like, dude, look in the mirror. You've been brainwashed. You've been feminized to become a female, to become a woman. You know, and a lot of the reason why these guys do it, I've said this a number of times, is because they want to relieve themselves of the responsibility of having to become a man themselves, because that's what society has brainwashed them with. Like, oh, no, just live at your parents' house forever and be under their health care until you're 55. Don't worry, they'll take care of it. Just keep extracting money from your parents. Let them keep paying for you. You know, it's pathetic. I'm going to wrap up here, guys. Feel free to share your comments below on this topic. If you are just having a tough time trying to go out there and find masculinity and you just can't seem to find it, let me know about your grievances below. And with that said, I'm going to wrap up here. Until next time, this is Matt Cross from Alpha Male Secrets, signing out here from my garage with a DeLorean. Don't forget to smash that like button below. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on YouTube. More importantly, guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Helps me out a ton when you guys subscribe, so please make sure you're subscribed. Also, hit the notification bell too so that you're notified whenever I upload a fresh video to my channel. Also, whenever I live stream, a lot of you guys have complained the fact that, oh, you live streamed and I didn't know about it. It's like, you know why you didn't know? Because you didn't hit the notification bell. Hit the notification bell, dude. That way you'll know whenever I live stream and you can ask me whatever questions you want. You hit the notification bell as well so that you're notified anytime I upload a brand new coaching video or I live stream on my channel. Okay, and I do these live streams on the fly. I don't plan them. I just do them when I feel like it. And for you guys,